Hey, how you doing? Where we turn this down? How you doing? This is Tom, and this is Tom's Radio Room Show. You'll have to excuse my voice. I caught a cold. I usually can get through the year with only one cold, and I lasted until May this year, but I got the cold, and it usually takes me a month to get rid of it. So bear with me. My voice is getting better, but it's still pretty scratchy. But anyway, what I was going to try to do today is do some band scanning using my ICOM 706. This is my excuse me, my amateur radio. I have a technician's class license. Yeah, pretty low, but I was studying for my general class with a friend of mine who is older than me. Yeah, there are a few people older than me, and I was making some progress, and he died. Yeah, so because of that situation, I kind of just lost interest in getting my license, and I never did. This was about 10 years ago. So I never have gotten my general class license. I need to do that. Anyway, oh gee whiz, I was getting ready to press there. Let me get a drink. Okay, so we're going to try to scan the bands, and we can zoom in a little bit here, and so you can see the display a little better. And kind of slide over there. And see if we can slide up a little bit. Oops, the wrong way. Okay, now let's see. I have to be a little careful also because I'm using the webcam's microphone. So I got to be careful I don't get too close to the webcam and overmodulate. So let me turn the radio back up. And I'll try not to talk too much, and we'll just listen, okay? Now this is the Preacher Man, which comes out of Tennessee, I believe, United States, and he's booming in right now. Let me tell you the setup. The setup is this is my ICOM 706. I have my MFJ 31-foot vertical antenna connected to it, and it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon here in Clearwater, Florida. So that's the situation. So we're going to see what we can find. What the heck? The band conditions for shortwave have not been spectacular, but it's the one thing about shortwave. It can be bad for days, and all of a sudden it's good. Maybe good for a couple hours. So we're going to see what it is right now. Here we go. Okay, since it's the afternoon, I should be going up in frequency because typically in the afternoon, the upper bands of the shortwave bands come in better. So let me go up instead of down. Here we go.
Methods by which you can do so. First,
now, that is WV on 10 megahertz, and I got an email from a gentleman that picked up a used radio, and he said that he was very disappointed with it because he couldn't even get WWV. Well, I told him that right now, with the way conditions are, I can't even get WWV sometimes. And there's a prime example. Now, I could try it Typically, this time of day, it's better on 15 megahertz. So let me try that just for the heck of it. Now, unfortunately, this radio doesn't have a keypad, so we're going to have to just scan. Well, it changed it. Yep, wrong. Whoop. That sounds like RTTY.
Aquí en Discípulo y Profeta.
Soy
Rafael Moreno. Les estoy hablando, les estamos enviando estos mensajes con el amor de Dios desde Phoenix, Arizona, en vivo. Este programa es un nuevo programa. Hoy nace.
That sounds pretty close. Oh, it's really strong. Look at it. S meter is pegged. There's Preacher Man again. I'm not sure what that is. It's on 12.58. It sounds familiar, that type of signal. I think it's some kind of coded message or digital message. Now, the other thing that I've noticed is a couple of days ago, and for a week or so, I was getting a lot of noise on HF. And I suspected it was because of all the dry weather and the dust on the power lines and causing static noise. And it rained fairly good. We got a 1/4 inch of rain 2 days ago, and that static noise is gone. So that's great. I'm glad that's gone, and hope we continue to get some rain. That's one of the reasons I was listening, or trying to listen, to the forestry service in Florida, because we're in a drought situation, and we have a lot of fires going on in Florida. But I was unsuccessful at finding such a service. Okay, there's a ham band, 14 megahertz. I'm going to skip over that for now. Going to 15. There's 15. I just passed it. Okay, we are in USB mode. Okay, now we're in AM mode. Now, one of the things that Jill's on his station has said many times is that when he's tuning his radio on the HF band, he tunes it in sideband mode, and you get by doing that, you get rid of this. All right, noise. Ah, there's WWE. So I don't know where that noise is coming from. It could be the electronics in the room. Could be anything. But I don't have that. I don't have that static noise I had, like I said before. That's gone. But that's quite a bit of noise there. And I had been, and I didn't realize, I had been tuning in the upper sideband mode, which, as I say, Jill's says you ought to do that. You have a better chance of hearing a station that's in the noise, which we heard Preacher Man there loud and clear, and then that other Spanish station loud and clear. But now we're in AM mode. I'm going to stay there for a while. But this is WWV at 15 megahertz. Like I say, for me, this time of day, afternoon till sundown, WWV comes in better on 15 megahertz. So that's the other thing, is that I was trying to tell that gentleman that's new to shortwave listening is conditions will change as the day changes, and you have to kind of follow the bands based on the time of day. That's one condition. There's many, and they vary all over the place. So let's go on. It sounds like another Spanish station. I'm not sure what that is.
The main response is to point to those which they have always had before their eyes, without seeing the wonder of them.
Will they not behold the camels, how they are created, and the firmament, how it is raised aloft, and the mountains, how they are established, and the earth, how it is spread?
That's loud and clear. Much more than my voice is.
The sacrament of thanksgiving, to say, praise be to God, the Lord of the world, includes wonder and takes the thing praised, and with it the praiser, back to the transcendent origin of all things. The sacrament of consecration, to say, in the name of God, the infinitely good.
Now, I looked up 15.540, and that is Radio Kuwait, and they are broadcasting in English right now, according to the website short-wave.info, and their transmitter is over in the Middle East. Now, I have noticed that my voice is going away. I have noticed that several people this week have been getting stations that are in the Middle East. I don't know what the phenomenon is, but they seem to be getting, and this one's really loud and clear. So that's the thing about shortwave, you just never know what you're going to hear. And why recently we've been getting, over in the United States that is, have been getting good reception from the Middle East, I don't know. Especially this time of day. Like I say, it's just after 2 o'clock. Why are my hands purple? This camera's going crazy.
God, the self-sufficient.
Of the dead, the resurrection to life eternal of those who have done well, the resurrection to judgment and condemnation of those who have done evil. The offertory recalls to us how the beginning, the promise of eternal life, has been made to those who have believed, and speaks of Abraham, that great example of faith, who merited to be chosen as the forefather of God's people. We, as the apostle tells us, are the spiritual children.
Okay, that's probably EWTN in the United States. So that's coming in clear.
It is our happiness to live and die.
will make us a new creature on the outside when we're raised from the dead. So we'll have a fit body to be with him in heaven. And there'll be no more pain and no suffering. There won't be any of these old age diseases.
Amen, amen.
These diseases that the children have,
Save
what they
the
call
Lord.
childhood diseases, measles, mumps, and all the chicken pox and the whooping cough. These things all be passed away.
That's probably WWCR in Nashville, Tennessee. Clear as a bell. Of course, it's close.
Got to the point where the people don't even want.
Okay, that's about all I'm going to get. I'm already up to 16.6 megahertz. So let me drop down to the 20 meter amateur radio band and see what's going on down there. So that's at 14 megahertz and above. Let me zip down there. 14. Right about there. We'll turn it up. And we'll go back to upper sideband. We'll change the tuning increment.
Something like that, and that's about all I've done. However, the last 2 nights on 30 meters is nothing exotic, but the signals finally have been nice into Eastern Europe and Russia at their early morning hours when I guess it's 10 or 11 o'clock here, and I mean just pounding signals, and then.
Now, as I mentioned in a show some time ago, you can use these amateur radios that are a wideband tuner that are tuned beyond just the amateur radio frequencies for a shortwave radio, listening radio. The drawback is the bandwidth on these radios is pretty narrow, because typically if you're operating in the amateur radio bands, you're just going to have your voice. That's all you're going to have. And so the bandwidths are not that wide. But typically, I don't listen to music on shortwave. So I don't need a wideband, wide frequency response. What's the term I'm looking for here? But anyway, you know what I mean. Audio wideband. I don't need a wide audio band radio. So that's why a amateur radio will work fine for me. And you can pick in the front end, as far as the tuning and the selectivity and stuff, are really good. As you can see, this radio, when I change the tuning steps, I'm tuning down to the, let's see, this is megahertz, kilohertz. I'm tuning down in the hertz, 1 hertz. So I can really fine tune this thing, which you really need if you're listening to amateur radio. As you can see, when this guy is working single sideband, let me turn it back up and I'll tune it. So you can see I gotta really fine tune it to get his voice correct. And that's the advantage of a radio like this. Now, the thing is, if you get this radio new, why are my hands in the way? If you get these radios new, you're going to pay a lot of money for it. I think this originally cost about $700. And because it's a transmitter and receiver, and it's multiple bands and stuff like that. But if you could pick one up that quite often the owner will destroy the transmitter section. What I mean is he won't have a proper antenna, and he'll try to operate with the improper antenna, and it will damage the transmitter section. Well, if you're only going to listen on it, you don't care. So you can get a pretty good deal on these things. I picked this one up. It works fine. I picked it up, I think at a Hamfest for like $400, but that was 15 years ago. 15 years ago, when I was working and making lots of money. Okay, see who else is on the band. Then we'll call it quits. Let me change the step. Okay, we'll call it quits. Now, I would really like to get my general class license so I can operate on these HF bands, and on the HF bands you can work stations around the world, and I would really like to be able to talk to people in other parts of the world, people I don't know. Now, you can talk to other people in parts of the world on the internet or on your cell phone, but most likely you'll know them. So that's the case I'm trying to make for that. Anyway, I think the medicine has kicked in and I'm not making any sense anymore. Or maybe that's just normal for me. So anyway, have a great day. And yeah, shortwave may seem like it's dead. It's not. You just got to look harder. Bye-bye.